It was crazy. I need more time than that.
Sit back, relax, and join me as I travel to Southern California for a furniture flippin' video training boot camp.
And I meant to say, keep in mind, you only have basically from noon to 5:30 to get it done. Completely done.
Stay tuned till the end to find out how I transform this petite buffet and learn if I survived my first video training boot camp. Video training boot camp happened at the new DIYAGOGO in Encinitas, California. This gorgeous mural was being painted while I was there. I met up with furniture painters from all over the U.S. who were there with me to attend a video training boot camp. First stop after landing in San Diego, DIYAGOGO. Come on in and check it out. There's serious eye candy everywhere. Beautiful colors. My eyes just didn't know where to look. There were things hanging high and low. I need to grab one of these belts. I have ideas. Seriously, there were things hanging everywhere. This was one of my favorite spots in the whole store. I picked up a really cool basket to bring home and use for staging. Hey, I remember when Debbie painted this. I love this finish. There were so many cool things. We could have spent hours, but we needed to get checked in.
Oh my God, that was fun. It's gonna be another one right here. Hey, here we go. Oh!
You never know what you're gonna get when you rent an Airbnb, but this place did not disappoint. Good morning. Just waking up and getting ready to go to DIYAGOGO for our video boot camp. This is the Airbnb that we're staying at, and this really peaceful backyard where we are in Encinitas, California. I'm staying at this B&B with Autumn, who's another retailer, and we have a whole bunch of other creative, cool, fun friends that we're going to be painting with today. After grabbing an awesome espresso from Buzz's, we jumped right into everything we needed to know to get started filming, but we needed content. Since we're all painters, Debbie had gone ahead before we all got there and picked up a bunch of pieces of furniture so we'd have content to film as we flipped these for our video. We went to the Boneyard, and that's when we found out what piece of furniture we were gonna redo. The Boneyard is actually DIY headquarters, which is located in the design district of Sonoma Beach. This is her old store location and one I've always wanted to check out. It was so cool. She moved last year during the middle of a nationwide pandemic. Doesn't everybody? So we gathered here to find out which pieces of furniture we'd be flipping.
And we had to do challenges before we went there, and I was first. I really wanted this miniature oak buffet.
I was so excited when Debbie called my name. We had to run in and stake our claim with a bottle of water. So I got my piece.
And then we only had 4 hours. The very first thing you need to do is clean your piece really well, and then you're ready to paint.
Yeah, I forgot why we're here. I was having a little difficulty there. I kept turning the camera on when I thought it was off and off when I thought it was on because the sun was so bright. But basically I sanded the top down to the raw wood.
To seal the piece, I like to put Big Top on the tops of pieces.
Big Top is a clear, durable top coat by DIY Paint. It's very easy to use and my favorite for both stained and painted furniture. For a silky smooth finish, I applied 3 coats, then buffed with a paper bag. With the top protected, I busted into the paints to do the body.
When I use a white brush, I can put dark on one side, so when I dip it, it goes on all at once. I kind of just did a combination because it was such a short period of time. But if I was going to dry brush, I would tap it in the paper towel so there's hardly any paint left on it, and just real lightly go back and forth.
So it's like a wash?
Well, I'm dry brushing, but I'm kind of getting this wet, so it just leaves a little bit on it at a time.
Okay.
Keep in mind, we only had 4 hours to paint, shoot, and video.
And if you want to do blending, like different areas, I kind of blended a little bit. It's just with heavier paint, and then you wipe it on. I did dry brush before I stenciled. I was mixing colors when I did that. The same thing. I used a different brush, but I put it on so there were different colors on that, and then I'm not a real good stenciler, but I kind of like the randomness of that when it's not just one solid color. When I was putting the stencil on, it fit really well top to bottom as I was moving it up and down, and then when I got to the side, there was like a little strip that I still needed to fill in, and I'm like, how do I do this? It was a cardboard stencil, and I didn't want to bend it. I want to put the stencil right up against the edge because there was like a lip to it. Yeah, I liked it. It kind of gave it like a tribal thing, even though I really wanted to go for a beachy feel. I'm still a waxer by heart, and I like to wax the bodies of the pieces.
I love waxing painted furniture. I'll attach my favorite brush in the link below.
After I painted it, I wanted to rough it up a little bit, so Debbie's dad had his sander, and I grabbed a hold of that, and I went along the edges and just kind of took some of it down to the raw wood.
I also wet distressed with a damp rag to take it back to the wood. Speaking of Debbie's dad, Levi was also there, and I tried to get a selfie, but all he wanted was kisses, kisses, kisses.
And then I applied clear wax over everything on the body part of it.
Oh my gosh, I love this wax. It's rich and creamy and not laden with all those horrible chemicals, so there's no smell and it glides on like butter.
The wax, when you apply it, a lot of people freak out when they first put it on because of the chalk in the paint. It dries lighter than it is when it's wet, but that's just the raw paint color. When you wax it, it takes on this depth that's really, really dark. So when you do that, don't freak out. Once the wax dries, it lightens back up again. So the color kind of keeps changing. It's one color in the can, and then when you put it on and then it dries lighter, and then you seal it and it gets darker, and then that dries and it gets lighter. So just when you're buying your paint, look at the finished color samples that are in the store, and that will give you a good indication of what it will look like once it's dry and sealed.
When shopping Shizzle Design locations throughout West Michigan, check out my color board. Each one is sealed with clear coat or wax, so you can see what the color looks like once it's sealed.
But it's very forgiving. I would say when you do start waxing a piece, to do the whole piece or do the whole front. If you have to take off, try to get one side completely done. But once you start it, I would do the whole piece if you can.
We interrupt this program for the squirrels in my brain. As I'm editing this video, I keep seeing the dresser behind me, and it reminds me of a piece I did several years ago. I sweet-talked my dear friend Anastasia into driving out to Holland to stage my piece. That's Big Red behind us. The wind was howling, and it was only about 45 degrees. She was wrapped in a shipping blanket, and every now and again I'd say, "Hey, could you move it a little bit to the right?" Oh my gosh, I thought she was going to kill me. It was early in the morning and freezing cold out at Holland Beach, but we got our pictures.
I tend to buff my pieces right away, but most people will buff it 24 hours after. I've waited a long time after before. For instance, you know, like when I break my leg and things like that.
That was 6 months ago, and my broken leg is still healing. It happened so fast. I knew I broke my leg, but my first thought was, oh my gosh, how's the buffet? I was really lucky though, because I had just shoved my phone in my back pocket before I moved the buffet into the garage. Thank goodness I was able to get a hold of neighbors, because I ended up going into emergency surgery and spent a week in the hospital. I'm just now starting to get around, but it is so painful, and another year before I'm 100%. For all you furniture painters out there, please be careful. I had a very serious fracture, but it could have cost me my life.
And if I buff it right away, it tends to have a little more sheen to it. I didn't buff it. I still haven't buffed it.
So Shelly, I want to make sure that I don't miss the next video. Like, how do I know when you...
So if you want to see my next video, be sure to click the subscribe button below and click on the bell so you get the notifications. And I hope to see y'all soon. Oh,
Subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. This petite buffet is currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace in Encinitas, California. If you'd like to recreate this piece, click below for a direct link on where to find all the paint colors used, along with my favorite brushes for each step. I've also added links for the stencils and finishes used to make this piece. Thanks for watching. Ahui ho!